For video number 3, we're focusing on picking the correct database. Which one is which, and how do you know which one you should select? This is often a difficult point for researchers who are new to research. Knowing which database is the most helpful is something that a lot of people struggle with. So this video is designed to help you determine which ones are going to get you the best results for this assignment. If you were doing a systematic review, you'd hit all of them. If you're just doing this assignment, you're going to want to focus on the best one. So for a part of an assignment that requires you to find an evidence-based review, you'll start with Cochrane. Cochrane is our collection of evidence-based reviews. It's a very small collection. It's designed simply to point you to what's already been published in the EBRs. Doesn't mean that yours is going to have your topic's going to have an evidence-based review already done about it. It just means if it's there, if it exists, chances are it's going to be in Cochrane. This is a database that contains 100% full text articles. That means the complete article is there for you to read. You don't have to go anywhere else to get it. And Cochrane specifically, which is different from any other database we have, there are 3 levels of full text. There'll be an abstract summary, which is just the summary of what they did. There'll be a short and a complete version. The complete version will be 100+ pages, but the shorter version will be the key ideas, the key things that you need to know and take away from the article without all the details, all the graphs, and all the charts. You want to keep your search strategy simple because there isn't a lot. Sometimes starting broader with Cochrane makes it easier to go forward. You might find 20, you might find 1, you might find 30. You can decide when you see your first set of results if you need to go more specific or not. Finally, RefWorks does allow syncing with Cochrane. It does take a little bit of effort and a couple different steps, but I have a video that you can see linked here that will show you what to do when you're in Cochrane. And when we get to the topics and the videos on citations, we'll revisit this so that you can remember how to do it. So our second database is CINAHL. This is our nursing database. Articles are typically written for nurses and very often by nurses. There are doctors who are writing articles, but the perspective is nursing and nursing issues. Because this database is from our EBSCO host company that we have a good relationship with, like MEDLINE, it has a lot of great limiters. People get really comfortable with CINAHL and MEDLINE quickly because they look the same and have a lot of the same features. So you have a lot of control over the results in CINAHL. Things like age group that you're looking at, sex of that you're considering, the subject of these articles. We'll get more into those when we talk about searching the databases and do much more specific demos. But for now, I want you to know that these options are available. My suggestion is to not limit yourself to full text. It's kind of like cutting off your hand before you even get started. Full text is the complete article, but when you're limiting full text in CINAHL, you're only looking at what's in CINAHL, and we have so much more than what's in CINAHL. We have a feature called Link Source that searches everything we have, and if you click that full text option, you're cutting out those. So look for the link source when there's no full text to see if you can get it from another source. There is an option to limit to evidence-based review articles. Most of them you'll find in Cochrane, but every so often one slips into CINAHL that Cochrane didn't find. And you can see there's a demo video of using CINAHL. It's just the basics. We're going to get more in-depth with those the next time. Third, we have the next database from EBSCO, which is MEDLINE PubMed. This is medical research, all of medicine, not just a nursing perspective. So there will be trials, there'll be animal trials, drug trials, things that are going on in labs and not in the medical field of hospitals and doctors' offices. So it's a massive database. It's really large and requires that you keep in mind your ability to control. Just like CINAHL, it's going to have options like age and sex and subject, as well as some other ones, including journal subsets and features that will help you narrow down what you're getting. Just like with CINAHL, my suggestion is to not limit yourself to full text for the very same reasons. Link source will be featured in MEDLINE. And finally, this also has a limit for evidence-based review articles. Again, most of what you'll find will already be in Cochrane, maybe even CINAHL, but you always want to make sure you get, if you can, that one that slips through. Now for this assignment, you might find exactly what you need for an evidence-based review example in Cochrane. It's not going to be an issue. But for systematic review, you are going to want to make sure you hit that limit in all three, just in case one gets through. The fourth and fifth database I want you to consider searching are probably not ones you're going to search very often, and maybe you won't even need to for the assignment at hand, but I do want you to know about them and view any demos you need to. First is ScienceDirect. This is a database of science research, not just medicine, not just health, but everything with science. It is not the most fluid search engine, and like CINAHL and MEDLINE, it doesn't give you a lot of options to narrow, but it does have a ton of articles, and they are all completely full text. What will happen is that you'll search CINAHL, find articles, click link source, and link source will take you to ScienceDirect. But very often, especially when you're doing a systematic review, you want to make sure you search it separately. Not because there's going to be a ton of different things, but you might find a couple that you didn't before. And with a systematic review specifically, it is important to get those one or two that might be just in ScienceDirect. Again, for this assignment, I don't think you're going to need to worry about using it. But if you do, I can certainly help you figure it out. Finally, we have Ovid. Ovid is another one of those which you're probably going to hit when you're doing a systematic review, but you might not hit for this assignment. It is health research, and it includes a lot about alternative health. So if you're doing research that looks at things that we in the West consider to be alternative health, you might want to include Ovid in your search. It has a very large collection again. Almost everything is full text, if not everything full text. It doesn't have a lot of limiting options. It is a little more difficult to search like ScienceDirect, but this time you're focusing more on a broader collection of health journals than you are all of science or all of medicine. What you're going to find with this one is if you need to go and get those really important key articles, ones that develop a theory, ones that explain a perspective on an issue that might be older but are still important to your research, you're going to find them in Ovid if we find them anywhere in the library collection. So sometimes going out into Ovid, searching for a nurse who has written on a theory, searching for that theory's phrase in Ovid will help you find those articles. Again, it is a large collection. Most of it is full text. When you're doing a systematic review, you're definitely going to find yourself going to Ovid, but in this assignment, maybe not so much.